All right, guys, today we're going to talk about Nuno's secret sauce. Let's get started. Well, I hope you guys are all doing good today, and I wanted to give a quick shout out and thank you to Motor City Guitar for allowing me to take Nuno's secret sauce home with me so I could do a demo of this pedal and just show you what it sounds like. And if you want to get a good deal on some gear, go ahead and click the affiliate link below in the description of this video. It'll take you right to Motor City Guitar's website. They ship anywhere in the continental US, and they have a lot of great products there and good prices on them, and they're a great store to deal with. All right, well, Nuno Bettencourt's always been one of these iconic guitar players. I mean, the guy's amazing. He's got his own style. He's actually broke a lot of barriers on the guitar, and a lot of people would love to play like him, and a lot of us can't because we're just not that good, you know. And a lot of people are wondering, like, well, how does he, you know, get the sounds that he gets and everything? And everybody's got their pedals or their things that they use, whether it's pickups or amps or settings of amps or whatever that they use to get all that the magic behind the scenes that helps them sound good. It enhances their riffs and allows them to play the way that they play, and it just brings out a little bit more of their nuance and characteristics in their riffs. And one of the things that Nuno uses is the rat pedal. Now, he swears by this pedal, and it's something that he claims doesn't really do a lot, but when you turn it on, it just helps with the percussiveness of the amplifier and really makes his riffs stand out more. And the things that he does a lot of that muting and stuff, and it really makes all of those notes ping a little better and stand out a little bit more, and gives a little bit more definition and separation between them. And it's kind of the same reason why I use overdrive pedals. I mean, it does a certain thing for my riffs and my style of playing, and I'm hooked on overdrive pedals for that reason. Now, the rat pedal isn't really an overdrive pedal, it's kind of a distortion pedal, but the way Nuno uses it, he utilizes it to act as an overdrive pedal. So I recently watched an interview with him on Rick Beato's channel, which is definitely one of the best interviews I have ever seen of Nuno. I mean, it's just amazing. So if you get a chance, go to Rick Beato's channel and watch that interview. I was captivated the whole time. It was freaking amazing. Learned a lot, and it was just entertaining to watch as well. Well, I don't have Nuno's amp. I know he plays through Marshalls a lot of the times, and they're probably JCMs. I have a JVM 410 here, and that's the closest thing I could find in my stash here to, you know, mimic what he uses. But I got the gain way freaking down on it because I'm trying to emulate what the JCM 800s do. They're not really gainy amps. So I have the gain at like 9 o'clock on this amplifier, and just to try to minimize it as much as I can so that when I kick in the rat pedal, it'll actually work with the amplifier properly, or at least close to what he uses it for. So let's hear the amp right now, the way it's set up without the pedal, and then I'll engage the pedal and show you what it does. All right, so let me switch cameras and engage the pedal and show you how it sounds. Big difference. I mean, it really does add a lot to the amplifier. So basically how he sets it up is he calls it Angel's Wings. He has the distortion at 9 o'clock and the volume at 3 o'clock, and then the filter right in the middle. So it's basically acting like an overdrive with these settings, but also it's adding a little bit of gain to the amplifier as well. And I see why he does that, because again, the JCMs are not known for being really gainy amps. So let's just mess with the knobs real quick and just show you what it does. Okay, so the gain is real touchy on this. You want to be real careful where you put the gain or the distortion on this. You get past 9 o'clock, it starts getting really out of control. So pretty interesting pedal. I do see why he uses it, because if I was playing through a JCM 800, I would want one of these too, because I want a little more gain, a little more saturation and aggression, and this pedal definitely adds that. Let's mess around with the filter real quick. It doesn't do a ton, but there is some subtle differences there. All right, well, maybe I was wrong. It does a little more than I thought. So depending on where you have it, I mean, it seems like it gets more and less aggressive. So maybe that's why he keeps it in the middle. So some pretty interesting, settings there. And if I was playing a JCM, I would probably know more what this pedal does for his tone. But like I said earlier, I don't have one here. So I'm just doing the best I can with this amplifier. But I've also heard that these pedals will sound like crap on some amplifiers, and some of them, they sound really good. Well, apparently it sounds really good on his rig, and it actually sounds pretty good with this one as well. There's a little bit of a cocked wah thing going on there, and I also hear that in his tone as well. No big deal. Some people really like that. I get it. You can especially hear it on his leads. You get that little bit of a cocked wah sound on it, and they're really aggressive. And apparently he really likes that tone, and a lot of other people do too. I mean, I love the new album. I think it sounds amazing, so it's definitely working for him. And he's been using this pedal for eons. You know, I mean, he said that he won't even tour without him, and he tours with a bunch of them in case something happens to one of them. He's got a backup, you know. So yeah, he's got a ton of them in stock wherever he goes, and I totally get that. I mean, if you have something that really works for you, you want to keep that around along with a bunch of backups in case something happens to it. All right, so now real quick, I'm just going to do a comparison with that intro riff I did without and then with the pedal, so you can hear them side by side. Well, there's an obvious difference between the two versions of that riff. I mean, I would much rather play that riff and hear that riff with the pedal on. All of the enhancements that that pedal gave me for that riff was awesome. I mean, it was easier to play, but also everything I was doing stood out more. There was great separation between the notes. And the biggest difference I noticed was the palm muting stuff was really, really nice with the pedal on. I mean, it just sounded very percussive, had a lot of attack, a lot of note separation in it. And I just think that it made that whole line of notes stand out a lot more. Now, there's nothing wrong with using pedals to enhance what you're doing. I mean, that's what they're made for. It doesn't mean that you're not a good guitar player because you're utilizing something that makes all of the nuance and all of the things stand out in what you're playing more. It just adds to what you're doing and enhances those things. You're still playing those things. You just need a pedal that's going to help bring out the different characteristics of what you're doing more. It's almost like using a microphone as a singer. Just because you need a microphone to enhance your voice and to project it doesn't mean that you're not a good singer. It's the same thing with pedals like this, you know, overdrive pedals, all that stuff. It just really helps bring out the attack, the percussiveness, and if you dial them in right, the note separation and all the stuff that you're trying to do as a guitar player, it just makes all that stuff stand out even more. And it's very important to have it in a mix or in a live setting too. I mean, because if you were playing that riff live and it sounded dull without the pedal, I mean, all that stuff would just sound like a bunch of mush in the background. But with the pedal on, it just enhanced everything and made it all stand out. Again, I'm still playing everything accurately. The pedal's just enhancing what I'm doing so that it could be presented to you in a better way. All right, so one more thing I want to show you before we end the video is I want to compare how the Rat pedal interacts with this amplifier to how a regular overdrive pedal like the Mud Killer interacts with it. So I'm going to leave the gain setting on the amplifier exactly the same, so everything's all the same. I'm just going to turn on each pedal and show you the difference. Let's start with the Rat pedal now. Huge difference, right? I mean, because of the way the Rat pedal is designed and I have it set up according to Nuno's settings, it's adding more gain and more aggression to the amplifier than the Mud Killer. Now I have the gain knob all the way down on the Mud Killer because that's typically how we have overdrives, you know, set up. Again, the Rat pedal's not an overdrive. I'm just showing you Nuno's settings on the Rat pedal compared to our typical settings on a typical overdrive pedal. So if I was to use this amp with the Mud Killer as opposed to the Rat pedal, I would have to turn the gain up on the amplifier because I'm not adding any with the overdrive pedal. So real quick, let's see what that sounds like. I'm going to go ahead and turn the gain up on the amp while I have the Mud Killer on and find the sweet spot. Yep, had to turn up the gain to 1 o'clock, you know, and it works just fine with the Mud Killer. So why doesn't Nuno just do that? I mean, I don't know, but there's just something about the Rat pedal that he really likes, and you know how it is. There's just things that we like about our gear, and we can't really explain what it is. We just like it, and I totally get why he sticks with the Rat pedal. Well, that wraps up this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And to all my Patreon supporters and subscribers, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. And by the way, if you're looking for some great tones and you play digital platforms, check out my website, tonewars.com. I got presets and captures and profiles up there for Tonex, Quad Cortex, and Kemper. So feel free to browse through those if you play one of those platforms and get some awesome guitar tones for yourself. And if this is your first time on the channel and you like what I do here, feel free to subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I either go live or come out with new episodes. Well, I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.